Hey everyone, welcome to my presentation. My name is Andrew Posey. I'm from Wayne State College and I'm just finishing up my master's. And I conducted my research on meaningful movement in the classroom. So you might ask, why movement in the classroom? So I've been teaching for 10 years and during my literature block, I've noticed a lot of kids sitting and just working on their independent practice and even their time with me. There's just lots of sitting. So I felt that changes need to be made during my literature block. So what my literature block looks like, it's 90 minutes long. So 60 minutes of that time is actually spent with me instructing small groups. And when the kids that aren't in my small group, they're doing their independent practice at either a table, the floor, their desks, but that is 1 hour of my lit block. And then the remaining 30 minutes of my literature block is whole group instruction. And even during that time, whether I'm reading stories to the kids and as much as I want to engage them, I still noticed lots of sitting during this time. So I felt that a big change needed to happen during my literature block. So I did a lot of research on movement in my classroom. So movement can look a lot different in a classroom. So here's what I did. So this is the kind of movement that can be done in any classroom, but these are the ones that I especially did during my time of this research and implementing in my class. So the first one is just simple brain breaks. So brain breaks can be consist of any type of movement, but in my class we did some yoga, we did PE exercises such as jumping jacks, stretching, toe touches, anything along like you would see in a PE classroom. We did some Go Noodle, which you'll see here in a minute. So Go Noodle is an online website, free for educators, just tons and tons of videos for engaging movement that gets kids out of their desk, gets them up, gets the blood flowing, gets their brains working. And also we did some dancing. So we just kind of looked up YouTube videos, the old video game Just Dance, and we would dance and have some fun during our literature block. Also, I used Kagan structures during my whole group. So a couple of them that I used are stand up, hand up, pair up, and numbered heads together. Both of them require kids to get up, move around the classroom, and then engage in conversation about the topic at hand. So these are all different types of movement that I implemented during the lit block. So how I did that is after 2 small group times, so about 40 minutes, I moved my kids to whole group time. So that transition from small group time to whole group time, right in the middle, we took one brain break. Usually lasted anywhere between about 5 minutes, maybe sometimes 8, depending on how much movement I thought my kids needed. Okay, and then during whole group, that's when we would implement a Kagan structure to get my kids up and moving. More of that collaborative learning style that just required them to get up, converse, and go talk. So on this screen, you're going to see an example of one of the videos that my kids absolutely loved. It was fun, it's engaging, it gets the kids moving, and it really starts to give the kids a break from their learning. Now, yes, I did say a break from their learning, but the engagement that happens after this is way better because they did get up and moving. So here's an example. This is called Popsico 2.0, and this is from Go Noodle. So as you can see, the video goes on to continue to do Popsico and patterns and just the characters singing and dancing. And my class is following along on the outside of this video, just watching and having a good time. Even me here presenting, I'm sitting in the background going, Popsico, Popsico. I mean, because it's catchy. The kids love it. You'll hear them walking down the hallway to recess or to lunch, and they're saying Popsicle out loud. And it is awesome to see the fun and engaging way that these kids can move in the classroom. So after doing all this and implementing movement into the classroom, I saw three major benefits from doing this. So the first one is increased focus and engagement. And it sounds exactly like that. The focus of my students from like before we did a brain break to after was night and day. So it got the kids in a way, and not just sitting there, they got the kids moving, and they got to focus a little bit more because they had that blood flowing through their bodies, and they got that chance to move, to get the jitters out of their bodies. So when kids are focused, engagement goes up. The Kagan structures really helped with the engagement part during my whole group of literature block. It requires positive interdependence on each other. Yes, they're standing up, they're finding a partner, they're high-fiving, but they're also engaged in the learning because they're moving, because they get to interact with their peers. So those two right there, if anything else, those are two major ones that makes it all worth it. But the second major benefit, improved academic achievement. Yes, I understand that I instructed the students, I gave them materials, and I helped them on a path to get to higher achievement, but without focus and engagement, their scores aren't going to be as great as what they showed. The academic achievement continued to rise through the whole study, and it was awesome to see. And I have no doubts that it's because of the movement along with instruction from me that really made that academic scores go up. So finally, brain power and attitude. Now you might ask, what's brain power? So that's just how they really think and how they feel about, the classroom and literature block. Their attitudes, I gave a survey from the beginning. Do you feel you sit too much? Lots of the kids answered, yes, I feel that I sit too much during literature block. When I gave that post survey at the end, same question. Do you feel you sit too much during literature block? No, almost all of them answered no, because they were engaged in movement. Okay, so I'm going to share some data from this about these three major benefits. So the first one I'm going to discuss is increased focus and engagement. So this is a chart of the engagement that I observed during my 15 days of data collection. Okay, so if you can see day 1, 2, and 3, they're up there. They're between 12 times students were off task, as high as up to 18 times off task. And you can kind of see the gradual slope. Day 6 through 8, you saw an increase. So there were some factors to that based on like inside recess and stuff. But there's a gradual slope on that graph where off-task behavior is slowly declining. So the first 4 days, you saw an average of about 14 off-task behaviors observed. Then days 13 through 15, you only saw an average of about 7 off-task behaviors observed. So cut in half. That's fantastic. And I feel all because of the movement that we are doing. It got those jitters out. Kids are able to focus more because they don't feel like they have to get up and move. So here's an example of just one student. Now this child in my classroom, student 21, always moving, very fidgety in his desk. I think we've all as teachers have had that one kid that does that. So I really tried to focus on very energetic movements throughout the literature block. And check this out. During the day 1, 4 off-task behaviors in that 90-minute block. That's off-task by not doing his work, talking to peers, going to sharpen his pencil when he's not supposed to. Day 1, up at 4. Again, you see a gradual decline. Days 11 through 15, actually 9 through 15, his days, his highest was 1 off-task behavior. So cutting those off-task behaviors and increasing that focus and engagement because of movement in the classroom. So on to the next major benefit. academic achievement. So this is my pre and post test reading scores from, obviously during my literature block. On the pre-test, kids kind of had some background knowledge of the skills, but not a whole lot. 8 kids were proficient. 13 kids were not proficient. So after instruction, whole group instruction, using those Kagan structures, getting that positive interdependence and getting that equal participation while moving, after a whole group involving Kagan structures, 17 kids were able to be proficient on that test. Only 4 weren't, okay? So again, improved academic achievement. Here's student 4. Student 4 received a 2. Now, student 4 is just below average reader, okay? Kind of a bubble student when it comes to reading. Got a 2, but because of all that movement, able to focus more during small group, because we had gotten all those jitters out by doing brain breaks, jumping jacks, go noodle videos. By the end, because she was able to focus on her independent work more, her whole group work, because of the movement, she was able to earn a 6, above and beyond score. So another major category of a major benefit. This is a question I asked on the survey. Does having a chance to move help you focus on your work? Out of my whole class, 20 out of 21 answered yes. They feel that they were able to focus more because of movement in the classroom. They felt that they didn't have to get up and talk to their neighbors. They were able to just do their work because we had fun moving as a class. So here's that do you feel like you sit too much during lip block. So at the beginning, 15 out of 21 answered, yeah, we sit too much. That's why I had to change it. We can't have that. All of them at the end answered no. None of them felt like they sat too much. Incorporating at least 2 brain breaks a day during my 90-minute lip block really changed the kids' attitude towards lip block. They were having fun. They wanted to learn. They were engaged. And that is a positive outcome of incorporating movement into the classroom. So what can I imply after doing this research for Wayne State? Movement is a positive way to implement fun and to increase focus, test scores, and attitudes. Now, some people might see this as an unstructured time. They walk by your class and look through the window. Oh no, Mr. Posey's jumping around again with the kids. It's not unstructured. We are doing this for a reason. We are stretching, doing yoga, dancing to get our jitters out, to really increase focus, engagement, and test scores. So my one final implication is this is something that we, as all teachers, should be implementing into our classroom. Not necessarily just during lip block, but whenever you see students not engaged or need a break, stand up, stretch, do some yoga, jump around, dance, put on a Go Noodle video. Movement can really help students. Students need to move. They're young. Their brains need that blood flow. Get them up, get moving to really help your classroom out. Help them focus one more time, help them with their test scores, and it helps with their attitude towards their schoolwork. So, because of that, I want to thank you for listening. Hopefully you guys have implemented some movement into your classroom. If not, I hope you see the benefits judging by the data you saw in my conversations with you and how much fun and how positive it can be. So again, one more time, thank you so much for listening. I'm Andy Posey, and good luck with moving in your classroom.